Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Hernandez. I'm a lawyer, a legal innovation ambassador at Gavel, and the founder of Variable Academy. I'm joined today by the incredible Ashley Robinson. Ashley is the founder of Green Cardigan Marketing, which is an agency helping law firms grow through marketing strategies that actually work. Thank you so much for joining me today, Ashley. It's nice to have you here.
Thanks so much, Brittany. Really good to talk to you today. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So I wanted to get started by learning a little bit more about you and your journey. So I saw that you played collegiate golf at Jacksonville State University. So how did you end up coming to found a marketing agency for lawyers? Walk me through that journey.
Yeah, I did. So I played golf all through elementary, middle, high school. It was certainly my identity for many years. And at Jacksonville State University, I get my degree in public relations, kind of quasi marketing. So after college, I attempted to play professional for a few years, quickly found out that was not my route, my journey in life. I'm so glad I did it, such a wonderful accomplishment. But I started working and I went to work at an automotive marketing agency. Loved agency life, marketing agencies, really fast pace, and you really get to help a lot of clients. Along those years, as I'm working at an agency, I always knew I wanted to do my own thing. My parents are entrepreneurs. That's all I've ever known. That's all I've ever seen. I just didn't know what the thing was. And I kind of thought I was weird and unique and different in that. Come to find out, there's a lot of people who know they want to start their own business. They don't know what it is. And simultaneously, as I'm working at this agency, I'm kind of thinking, what do I want to do? I start helping a lawyer on the side do his marketing. And he tells a lawyer who tells a lawyer who tells a lawyer. Next thing you know, I'm 5 or 6 lawyers deep. And I was like, okay, I think this is the thing. It was actually my husband who was like, hey, I think this is your thing. I was kind of just just rocking and rolling, helping all these lawyers on the side. I was enjoying it. So quit my job. This was the beginning of 2020, like a week before the world shut down. And I went full time and started my own thing. I think COVID was a wonderful time to start your own business, especially in something that I was doing. Lawyers were becoming more adept and interested in meeting over Zoom. So that's how it all started. Here we are, 5 years later, doing it full time, about a dozen team members or so, and we're rocking and rolling. We're doing our thing.
You've grown so fast. And I think that that's
Yeah.
really, indicative of you kind of like practicing what you preach is that you were able to find something that worked. You were able to build that as a model that you could scale. You're able to grow your team super quickly. So I think you are kind of like the living proof of what you're trying to share with other people as well. Even if you aren't a law firm, it's all the same basic principles about business and marketing that we should learn as lawyers, but we don't. Coming from experience as a lawyer, we did not learn marketing in law school. We learned torts and criminal law. So I think it's super helpful to have somebody who this is your bread and butter. This is what you love to do. This is, to borrow a phrase from the Big Leap, this is your genius zone. And so I think it's really great to see that you get to use that and sort of offer those services and help for law firms. Why don't we go into that piece? So what does Green Cardigan Marketing actually do? What is a marketing agency? What services do you offer?
Yeah, so at Green Cardigan, I was just talking to a prospect earlier. I was telling you this, Brittany. I was talking to someone earlier. I think the easiest way to summarize what we do is if it involves helping you grow, bring in more leads to your firm, we probably do it. We are a lead gen company. So as a marketing agency, we are not branding. So we're not helping you establish your voice and your brand. We need that kind of already set and established before we come. We can certainly help with that. But what we do is help you grow. So we build websites, we do SEO, paid ads, video marketing, and social media marketing. Our main channels, if you will, would be your website, SEO, and paid ads. The other things, video, social media, they really complement the organic SEO marketing. And how do we determine which one of those you need? Who needs paid ads? Who needs SEO? Who needs website? It all depends on your practice area, your goals, your geographic location, your budget. The firm I was on with earlier happens to be in South Florida where I'm at. That's actually not very common. We work with firms across the country, Canada and Europe. But he happens to be in our area and he's wanting to go after medical mal. Well, he's probably going to have to do a little bit of everything, right? As opposed to that estate planning firm who's in Nowhereville, Alabama, where I'm from. We could do other marketing things, right? So there's all these marketing levers we can pull. What I see, Brittany, honestly, the biggest mistake I see lawyers making is they just do random acts of marketing. So our job is to build you a strategy to reach that goal. So one of the first questions my team or myself is ever going to ask the firm is, what are your goals? How much money do you want to make? Do you want to be practicing law? Or do you want to be out of the law? Do you want to have 5 locations? Do you want it just to be you an associate and you make bank and you retire at 50? Whatever, I don't care, whatever your goals are. Our job and what we do at Green Cardigan is to build you a strategy to get to that goal.
Oh, I love that. And I think it was really helpful that you started with what you don't do so that we can kind of conceptualize like, okay, so that part of the process should already be set up by this point, even if you can help. But to be able to see like these are the things we're really going to focus on, I think is super helpful. And speaking of kind of like niching down, sort of, do you have a general size of firm or practice areas that you generally work with? Because it sounds like obviously you have a range of medical malpractice or estate planning and people who have solo firms. Have you seen sort of what's your sweet spot?
We work with all practice areas. Our greatest results come from law firms who have more of an organic, longer buying cycle. Think about family. Their average buying cycle could be 6 months to 5 years. For someone to make such a large decision of I'm going to divorce or I'm going to adopt, that's a long buying cycle. And often those clients are researching, they're watching videos. That's why video marketing is so important. They're contacting friends who might be a referral, could point them in the direction. So family's a long buying cycle. Estate planning is the definition of long buying cycle. My estate planning firm, who's done my family trust for my husband and I, should be following up with us every year. Have you bought another piece of real estate? Have you had a kid? Has your business changed? If he's doing his job, I should be his client, and my kids should be his client, and my family should be his client for decades. Immigration is a long buying cycle. Business lawyers. So those are the clients that we've seen the greatest results from. In market, look, I'm a marketer, so I've had to package that up nice and sweet. If you ever see our stuff online, our paid ads, our actual marketing is we say we work with family and estate lawyers. We work with all practice areas, but we have to for Google, and this for be any lawyer out there and for any business out there, narrow your niche. And we've done that for our agency. Is say, look, we work best with people who have longer buying cycles, more organic practice areas. And 2 of those that we work with a lot are family and estate lawyers.
That makes sense. And I feel like that's such a good point too, because there's somebody who's going to they just got in a car accident, they need help right now. Or they experience some kind of like medical malpractice, for example, and they need someone to help them right now. And there's all these different limitations of time that they have to think about. So I think that's such a good point because the strategy is so different. Maybe somebody who is in the position of a personal injury lawyer might do billboards, whereas for somebody who is thinking about purchasing an estate plan for $8,000, $10,000 from an attorney, they're not just going to hand over $10,000 because you ask them to at a billboard. They're going to have to build that relationship over time, demonstrate their expertise. So why don't we talk a little bit about your process for getting qualified leads and then also for working with the law firm themselves? And also, I was curious too about this idea of, how do you as a marketing agency have a model that's scalable for you so not every single thing is super bespoke in the sense that you're able to have a method or a process or some kind of system that you can follow for producing those results so it's not spaghetti on the wall, but at the same time making it to where each plan with that base is tailored to each firm.
Okay, so multi-part question. The interesting part to that question is all of the answers are all the same answer. So I think the answer I'm going to give you will answer all those questions. So how do we customize our strategy for every lawyer? How do we ensure that we see results for every lawyer? How do we, from our business perspective, how do we stand out? So something that we do that I know is different because I've always got my tentacles in the marketplace and seeing what others are doing. We call it a marketing blueprint, a marketing strategy for everyone that comes to our door. That probably, for many of you, that probably sounds like, yeah, duh, of course you build a marketing strategy. That is not the case for many of my competitors. You come into their firm, you're kind of like square peg, round hole. Here's the things we do, kind of take it or leave it. So what we do is every firm that comes through our door, we do a marketing blueprint. For us, you'd have to pay for that. That's a $500. Right now, that's a $500 call. That price changes. We're not trying to make any money off of that. We want to work with a smaller amount of firms. We work with 70 to 90 firms now. So we'll continue to grow and we'll work with max a couple hundred firms a year. And that's a lot, I understand that, but we want to provide custom marketing for every firm that comes to the door. So that charging for that allows us to only work with the people who are interested. It's not the money. It's we only want to work with people who's interested. My team then averages between 4 to 6 hours for each one of those blueprints. So we take the firm, we audit their website, their 3 closest competitors, and then the search volume for what they do. So if they're looking for LGBTQ divorce or adoption in Atlanta, Georgia, we have a client who that's her target audience. We're going to go see what is the search volume for that? How does her current website, how does she rank for that? What is her competitors? Because we want to know, again, we've already said, what are your goals? And that lawyer, she's already told us whatever her goals may be. So we've got to build a strategy to get to that goal. We're signing our name on the line, basically saying we can get you to that goal. So that's how we provide a really custom approach for every firm that comes in is we build that marketing strategy. Before we'll do anything, we're going to build that marketing strategy. At the end of that, again, we call it a blueprint, like building a blueprint for your house. At the end of that call, we've already shown you all the good, bad, ugly, why you're not getting the clients you want. And at the end, we'll say, hey, here's what it would look like to work with us. Here's pricing, deliverables, timeline. And so we want the lawyer to leave that call feeling really educated and equipped on, even if they don't hire us, they know here's the plan going forward. And that's what we tell them. Look, you're paying $500. If you choose not to work with us at the end, you've got a hell of a marketing plan going forward. Go do it yourself or go hand it to another team. But it's our way of providing insurance for us too, of before we work with any firm, we want to know what we're getting into. So that's our answer to being able to work with the people we want to work with people who are serious, and then know that we've set them up for success at the beginning of the relationship.
Even if they didn't end up hiring you to implement all of those things, you've already provided so much value for a flat, predictable rate. And I think obviously after they've had so much value, they would, hire on. But just to say that you're getting value from the beginning. Yeah. And then I wanted to double check on 2 quick things that conversation kind of led me around to, which is, do you have any parameters around like working with competitors in a field? 2 lawyers come to you, they're both in the same geographic area, they're both in family law, trying to target the same people. Maybe they're also similar size and have similar goals. Do you have any parameters around whether you would like not work with one over the other, or would you work with both and then have like just let them know, or how does that work?
We do offer a level of exclusivity based on practice area, geographic area, and target audience. It's not as easy as a blanket statement and answer. It depends on many things. We could work with the same family lawyer in Dallas, Texas, and another family lawyer as long as they're not going after the same keywords. If you're going after high asset, same-sex divorce and adoption, and you are not, then we could probably work with you. Gotcha. But the person who gets it is either the person who was working with us before first, or if they both, this has never happened, but if they both contacted us on the same day and we had the conversation, it would be the one who had the higher package level. Yeah. So again, there's a huge disclaimer there of so many nuance in the detail. But at the end of the day, if we would not work with the same 2 firms, same practice area, same geographic area, all we're doing, and again, I don't want to like throw shade on other marketing agencies, but I know a lot of people who do that. I don't understand it because all you're doing is really hurting yourself. They're not going to see as good success and results if you're doing that. So it's just our job to be open and forthcoming, and then ensure that we're doing a lot of research and due diligence if we're ever in that situation. We have been in that situation. We've had to resolve it many different ways. But we're never going to compete one of our clients against one of our other clients. It's just, it's bad business.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious. Yeah. And then can you go over like some, obviously without giving away all your secret sauce and juice and everything, but could you give some examples of, you mentioned like different marketing levers that you can kind of pull on to kind of lead to different results? And obviously each blueprint for each client is going to be different, but I'm just curious, what are some of the different things that you kind of use to pull and help with those leads?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, it's all going to depend. Practice area is going to be the driving factor. After practice area, it would be goals, budget, geographic area. So if you are, again, we work with a ton of family and estate lawyers. So let's use an estate planning firm. An estate planning firm, your foundation, you've got to have a kick-ass website. It's got to rank organically. It's got to be optimized on mobile because we know now that Google only cares about how your website looks on mobile. We've got to know that it's set up technically from an SEO technical perspective, that it's a sound, solid built website. So we're going to check that. That's for every client we work with, every practice area, every geographic area. Everybody's going to go through our checklist, if you will, to ensure that their website is just solid. Second is, I don't know of a practice area. I'm sure there's one out there, but I don't know of one that could not benefit from organic SEO marketing. That's just increasing your organic ranking with Google, showing up in the local map pack. If you are local, if you're practicing federal, it's still to show up organically. And then after those two things, it's really going to vary. So again, sticking to our theme here of estate planning, there might be some component of paid ads that could work. I would probably suggest local service ads. It's a form of Google ad. And then I would also double and triple check that they have all of their email components, their CRM, set up in a really sound way. Do they have nurture campaigns built out where they're drip sequencing to their people who have not engaged with them or people who have engaged? Again, let's go back to the example of my estate planning firm. I'm busy. My husband's busy. He needs to remind me every year of his services. I owe him a call to this day, and I do this every day of my life. He needs to make it easy for me. He needs to send me an email, remind him, oh shoot, I need to reach out to him. I've got to update. We bought another rental property. I've got to update our plan. So if he's doing his job, but he shouldn't have to be chasing me down. Use technology. Use a platform to do that. We're talking, I mean, we're in this conversation today, Brittany, because of a platform. You all are a technology company. Utilize a technology to build out those drip campaigns and drip sequences. So long answer to your short question, it all depends on your practice area, but every practice area, you need a solid website, SEO, and then it just depends on what you're doing, what your goals are. If you need paid ads, if you need nurture campaigns, if you need video, if you need social. So at that point, it all depends on so many different varying factors.
That makes sense. And then for when you get all of these different leads come in from pulling all these different levers, how do you generally recommend that people handle getting all of these new leads that they're not used to having? How do they determine how fast they should grow by hiring different associates or paralegals or clerks or using technology? How do you kind of advise or kind of go through that process of talking through how to handle the leads that come in? Because you might be giving them way more qualified leads in a higher volume than they're ever used to.
It's often we're not in that situation where they're just overnight inundated with leads. Because again, our first conversation is, what are our goals here? And I had a lawyer who recently told me down to the penny what she wanted to pay herself every year. Great, love it. So some people have very defined goals monetarily. Some talk about their lifestyle and freedom. I want to know all of that because I want to help you build the firm to achieve that goal as a business owner. We all started our own business for one reason or another, and often it's for the freedom. So I want to help you build a firm to reach that goal. So often it's a stair step, and we gradually find our way into that level of that volume. Recommendation for our clients, we do not have a CRM. We are not CRM exclusive. We require you to work in one CRM or another. I've got clients, and I would imagine every legal and non-legal CRM out there. I give recommendations all the time. The best thing I can offer a client who's asking if they're not using a CRM is, here's 10 lawyers we work with in your practice area. Ask them. Going back to who our ideal client is, most often than not, by the time they land on our doorstep, they are working in a CRM. We can help firms under $1 million. We don't have many solutions. We do need a firm who there is some progress and we're starting to grow. So at that point, they've probably already got a fairly established process and back of the house process. So we will provide as much recommendations as we can. But again, at that point, I want them to go talk to a lawyer who's in that practice area and talk to 5 lawyers and get their consensus. Nobody loves their CRM, me included. But that's just because we're asking these these platforms to do a million things, and none of them are ever going to be able to do it. So if you're looking for one, go talk to other lawyers who've done it and see their pros and cons.
Yeah, and I feel like this conversation around like how to handle using technology or scaling really begs the question, how do we as lawyers have to change how we practice, how we bill, how we use technology to generate documents, how we use all these different pieces? Could you go quickly over how getting larger volumes of clients, but maybe wanting to stay small? Because you said maybe some people want to stay solo. Maybe they don't want to grow to a huge law firm size, but they still want to be able to handle larger volumes of clients. What kind of changes does this necessitate in how people practice law? And have you seen that in specifically billing models?
It has changed. We're in a day and time where you can do that. You can make a great, healthy salary and keep your cost of goods sold really low. You can keep your expenses very low by utilizing technology, utilizing Gavel, utilizing these platforms and AI, and having it automate as much as you can. So I put out as much content as I can about AI. I think that's how we originally got contacted, Brittany. Yeah. Is putting out, I'm just always looking for ways to provide added value to our clients. Again, we're a marketer. We're going to stay in our kitchen in terms of what we do, but I want to provide as much added value to our clients as I can and say, hey, I know we're in the marketing piece. It looks like you guys are kind of struggling on this side. Go talk to Brittany. Go contact somebody at Gavel. Go look at one of the CRM platforms. Use offshore virtual assistants. Get creative. As a business owner, I can provide a lot of value in that because I have grown a business. I'm not the most successful, but I've seen success, and I can offer as much guidance as I can because, to your point at the beginning of this call, you're not taught that. Hell, I wasn't taught that, right? I went to school for public relations. A lot of this you just have to learn and ask the question. So I think that's one of the greatest assets I can provide. I'm not in the day-to-day relationships with our clients anymore, but I can provide that from afar. I at least meet every client. I talk to them a couple times a year of just asking questions. Hey, the marketing, yep, my team's got that. Let's talk about the business. Where are you struggling? We have seen a lot of clients who've seen success moving to, I don't know if this is really your question, but moving to a flat fee model. We have seen a tremendous amount of success. I'm hearing that from our clients who are moving that way. If it makes sense, obviously putting some really tight parameters around that, so having some great contracts because you still got to be profitable. But for those who figured it out, it seems to be the way to go. It's really a game changer for those who have moved in that direction.
Speaking of kind of like trends towards different practice and also in different marketing, what would you say are some trends that you've seen on the marketing side, meaning things like more founder or content-led kind of approaches? So for example, I have a friend that I went to law school with who has now over 1 million followers on TikTok, and he's very much like a branded for him, founder-led type of firm. Do you feel like it kind of depends, maybe like you said, on practice area for him? For example, he does more employment type of matters. So do you feel like that really more depends on the practice area, or more blanket trend wise that it's very founder and content led?
I would say that's blanket. I mean, I've seen every practice area do it and do it well. Be the face of your firm as much as you don't want to be. And I didn't want to be. My business coach actually convinced me of that. If people buy from people they know, like, and trust, and not a logo. So be the face. There's alternative ways to be the face. If there's multiple partners, there's alternative ways to be the face. But put a face behind the firm. Even if you don't want to sell one day, put a face behind it. You are being researched no matter even if you say, well, 100% of our leads come in through referrals. First of all, that's a mindset you probably need to work on if you're looking to grow. Because yes, maybe a large portion are coming in from referrals, but we need to change that. And then also referrals are researching now. I don't know why that's such a hard concept to grasp. It's a conversation I'm having all the time of use yourself as an example. I'm in the market for a new chiropractor, myself personally. I am searching for, even though I receive referrals from my personal trainer, I am researching these two people. And the one who is more active online is going to get my business because I feel like I can know them, understand them, trust them because they have a great website, they have a website, or they're active on social media, or they're posting videos. That person's getting my business 100% of the time. And I think none of us could argue that. So be the face, be active, utilize video marketing. We do video for our clients. And it's becoming more and more and more of a requirement from us because Google owns YouTube. It's a monopoly. You have to show up on one for the other. So why not utilize that? I understand you don't want to hear yourself. I understand you don't have the time, but you can work with someone who can help you. We can write scripts for you. We can give you prompting ideas. So it's not, you're not just stuck in front of a camera and say, here, record. I record videos for my company too. And look, you be prepared to do a lot of bad videos before you start making some decent ones. And that's okay. The amount of times my sales guys will come back to me and say, I did this call and they mentioned you. They have a friend. I have a distinct accent. Some may say, I don't think I have an accent. I think all you guys do, but they will tell me, hey, they got on the call and said they feel like they know you, or I hear that comment a lot. Or they know somebody who played golf or whatever it may be. All those videos are doing is nurturing our leads down the funnel. You have a sales funnel in marketing we talk about, and you have a sales funnel lawyer as well. So leads who come in through paid ads, for example, are really cold. They're top of funnel, and you have to nurture them. And you have to be willing and understand that you're going to get 9 bad leads for every good one, or maybe 5 and 5, whatever that ratio may be. So video marketing helps you really nurture those clients down the funnel. So be your face of your firm. You don't want to do it, but it's going to make you more money. And if you still don't want to do it, knowing it's not going to make you more money, or it's going to make you more money, okay, that's a decision you've got to come to terms with, but it's going to help. It's just the nature. Social media changed everything, and you have to do that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I think I'm actually going to wrap us up there. I really appreciate you sharing your insights on that. And I just wanted to let people know how they can get in touch with you.
GreenCardiganMarketing.com is our website. Very active we wouldn't be a marketing company if we were not active on social media. So pretty active across all social media platforms. And that's where you can find all my videos on YouTube, on our website. It all interconnects. So search Green Cardigan Marketing and you can find us.
Amazing. And you can also check out Gavel, and we have a Gavel exec promo going on right now for July. So it's going to end in a couple days. So be sure to go to gavel.io to check that out. Thank you so much, Ashley, for your time and for being with us. And we'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.